Yo, what's good everybody? This is your boy Boskov. Welcome back to Boskov Plays. So, in a previous video, I did talking about all of my favorite E3 video game reveals. One of the games I was excited for was the new upcoming God of War that should be out, looks like the early 2018. It says first quarter, but I'm doing a guesstimate that's probably around like May. And I was concerned about that game because just initially looking at the trailers and looking at the gameplay, all of the information that we've seen from last year and up to this year, you can see that it's a completely different game. And I expressed my concerns and even more concerns after looking at more information that this is confirmed that it's going to be a completely new game. One of the ways it's going to do that, and I guess the main focus on this is the camera angles and how that plays out. If you remember in any of the previous God of Wars, if you want like a reference, you could check out some of the God of War gameplay I did on the channel. There's like a fixed camera angle, and the new upcoming God of War, there is kind of like this anchoring angle. If you watch the 2016, I think it was the E3 gameplay trailer reveal, you can see like full gameplay of it, not just like the recent trailer that came out, but like full actual gameplay. You see that the camera's always on Kratos. According to the director of the series, Cory Barlog, the guy who actually made, I believe it was Game 1, the first two games, he's come back on the project, and he said that's going to be a thing for the entire game. And the way I look at it, it's kind of like, honestly, even looking at the gameplay, I was thinking like this reminds me a lot of like The Last of Us or any other type game. I think of The Last of Us because that's what I most recently played, that had kind of like an anchoring camera angle where the camera was always on the main character. But he says in order to tell like a certain story or to get a certain amount of emotions in there, the camera angle, like there is no camera cuts, whether it's during gameplay or whether it's during like cutscenes. There's no the camera will always be focused on Kratos. And of course there will be some times where like it'll switch to another character, I guess, to tell a different story or to make you look at something else, but there will be no camera cuts. Another thing is that that kind of like got me concerned about this game is the gameplay. Just looking at the gameplay initially, I went back and I watched the gameplay trailer from 2016, and then also reading up, just throwing a side note in there, it said there will be no quick time events or anything like that. And that was like a big thing for God of War back in the day, where the quick time events that I was gonna say it brought edge to the game. It was kind of like the climax of whatever fight you were doing. Like that was the I guess you could say the edge of the game. That's the excitement, the drive, the the thrill factor in the action game. That's where most of the action came from. And then just looking at the gameplay initially, I don't know what type of game this is supposed to be. And the reason I say that is because if you go back and you look at the trailer from last year, I think that's the only type of gameplay we got from this. You look at the trailer from last year and look at the gameplay for it. And even looking at the trailer and all the gameplay they got that just came out, it looks like a completely different experience, which the director said that's what he was going for. Even though the team that he has behind this game was pushing against it and telling him, hey, don't do something different, just keep with what we got. I don't know. Like I said before, I don't want this to lose what made God of War. Just looking at the gameplay and the fight mechanics, I guess, and the way it's set up, it just, once again, like I always say, in some games that you look at, especially when you change them up, you can take this and throw any other title on it and it would be cool. But the fact that it's thrown God of War on there's kind of an expectancy for you to live up to the name that you have. And just looking at some of the things like on the HUD, I was noticing how in the E3 2016 trailer, they have you with his son, and you're supposed to be hunting the deer and fighting the different enemies and shit like that. And I'm noticing as you walking, like you're gaining skill for like tracking. You're gaining. It's called knowledge in the game, but you gain knowledge for tracking or knowledge for hunting, or different types of shit like that. So initially I thought, so is this going to be kind of like an open world game? And another reason I said that is because when you entered into another area, it said such and such area discovered. So it's like, I thought this was going to be an open world game, but I was looking up some articles and shit like that, and apparently this is not going to be an open world. Balrog was real vague. He says it's open, but it's not open world. Whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean, right? Of course I don't know, because I'm not the director, and we haven't honestly seen much about this game yet. But it just, obviously this is not going to be anything that we've seen before with God of War. And here's my problems with that, or I guess I could say my concern. I can't really express, I don't want to express too much of a problem, because I haven't played the game yet. This still got a long time to be developed and come out and pretty much be finished, polished or whatever. Like, I don't know. Boscov would be like, what the fuck is really going on? Like, it just honestly, like I said, it looks like something like The Last of Us, but instead of a shooter, it's an action type game. Or I really don't know. For those of y'all that played any of the Gears of War, any of the God of War before, you know, especially if you really liked it, you know how fucking fun it was. It's just that it looks like something completely out of the blue. I don't know what's going on. I want to say that with noticing all this and stuff like that, it's cool that the director is trying to go into, I guess, a different area when it comes to this game, because there's nothing wrong, especially with like video games and artists and anything like that, with them doing something different. But there's nothing wrong with them doing something different. But if that was the case, they could have just made an entirely different game, because this doesn't look like God of War at all. Like, it doesn't look like the God of War we know at all. It's kind of my reaction to this is kind of the reaction that myself and a whole bunch of other Sonic the Hedgehog fans had when we went from having games like Sonic platform scrollers, the originals, Sonic Adventure, fun games like that, and then you go into Sonic 06. And it's just like they redeemed themselves later on after making Sonic Generations, but then, or I guess they kind of redeemed themselves with Sonic and not Night of the Werehog, Sonic Unleashed, when they made Sonic Unleashed, because people like the high-speed Sonic adventures. A lot of people was off and on about the Werehog stuff. I really didn't care. I thought that aspect was fun. It definitely, because they added on the fact that Sonic was able to do what Sonic fucking does, which is run. So in this game, we have a whole new, brand new God of War experiences, a new way of telling the story. He said the main reason for the switch up is because he wanted to tell a different narrative, tell a different side of Kratos, which is cool. But once again, it just doesn't, to me, look like God of War. Like, of course, there's initial hype around it, because the graphics are wonderful. It's Kratos, and God of War is on the title. But when I go back and I look up stuff, and I look at the game and look how it's structured, and even looking at the 2016 trailer and looking like, what the hell do they mean by like you gain experience or not? Like, you're gaining knowledge for hunting things. Like when you went and did the shit, he gained knowledge for hunting a deer. So are we going to be hunting deer in this game? Or are we supposed to be tracking down enemies? And then you discovered an area. You usually don't see shit about anything being discovered in areas unless it's an open world type game, and there's a unmarked area that hasn't been found before, and now all of a sudden you found it. Like, I'm just so confused. And they're since its initial announcement. There is little to no information about this game other than the trailers, other than the stuff at E3, and little information that you can find here and there with interviews with the director and gameplay clips like that. But let me know what you guys think about this. This is what I think. I just think I hope I'm hoping this game still has, even though I'm pretty sure it's almost done, it's still got a ways to be released, but I'm hoping that it's just it gives us what it originally gave us when we played God of War. So far I've played God of War 1 on the channel. I have that on the channel, and then I've played God of War I played 3 before I played 1. So I played 1 and 3, and those games were hype as hell. I like hype as hell games. There was a lot of hype that followed those games, and then I look at this game and I'm like, I'm excited for it because of the fact that it's Norse mythology. It telling a different tale, and he gets to fight a whole different line of people for whatever reason he's doing that. That's cool and everything, but are you going to be able to switch your weapons? Are you going to be able to gain different weapons from defeating different bosses or doing different challenges throughout the game? I don't know. I seen that whole tracking thing. I hella overlooked that the very first time I seen it, and I was like, oh god, like what the hell is this? So I don't know. I'm expressing concern for this. Let me know what y'all think, for those that like the God of War series. If you've seen any more information about it, or like your initial thoughts or your thoughts of everything so far as God of War goes. I'm just concerned that this is like they're gonna try something different and it's not gonna work. I could be totally wrong, and it could work. I hope that's the case. If it does, hey, I ain't got nothing to worry about. And then also, like, the game is still yet to come out. We've yet to play any demos or anything like that, so who knows? For all we know, this could be better than all three of them put together. But from looking at the previous games to what this is now, doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I just once again, there's nothing. I don't see anything wrong with artists doing something new, but I just feel like they could have like maybe entitled it something different, or gave it a different title. Like if you're going to try something new, which is I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. I just don't fucking know. Let me know what y'all think. I want to get y'all opinions on this. See what y'all think about this whole switch up as far as God of War has gone and the direction that it's taking when it's come to this game. I mean, the hype factor is there. I seen the boss fight with the giant or whatever the monster is supposed to be. The Goliath looking monster is supposed to be, or battling a troll is what it's called. So I seen the fight with the troll, and it looks hype, you know, for just by looking at it, glazing over it, looking at it. And then when you really get down to it, and then kind of compare it to like the previous games, I don't know, it just doesn't come up to par, or I guess doesn't pair up. It's not like they're changing the genre of the game. And if they were changing the genre of the game, or like the way it was made to be played completely different, like if this was to for some fucking reason turn into a shooting game, then there would be no concern there. But because this is still like, I guess, considered an action adventure, which is, if I'm not mistaken, that's what all the previous God of War games were action adventure games. Yeah, action adventure games. Action adventure / hack and slash. And this one is just, I guess, action adventure. So we'll have to see. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comment box down below about God of War. Definitely, if any more information comes out about this game, I will be covering on this channel. So make sure you subscribe and like the video if you want to find out more about that. Hopefully we get more. Like I said, we've been getting little information about this, other than the 2 E3s that we've had. I think that's an actual thing. Other than the 2 E3s that we've had, that's all the information we've been finding out about this game. So hopefully there'll be more in the future. If there is, you already know your boy Boscoff will be on that. So I'm out this thing. Y'all keep doing y'all goddamn thing. Keep them schlongs long, them clips tight. I will see you still hoes on the flip one. Peace.